The more present you are through your orgasms, the more powerful of a creator you will be. Hi, I'm naomiolutayo, the brand priestess, and I partner with spiritual Black women founders of product brands to lead, launch, scale, and maintain their brands in alignment with the vision that God has given them. If you like today's content, then make sure to click the link below to join my newsletter, Letters from My Living Room, where I send frequent activations, revelations similar to this one, and wisdom to help you on your journey as a founder building in complete alignment. Anyways, let's get into today's video. So creative energy is sexual energy, which is life force energy. Creative energy is sexual energy, which is life force energy. The same energy you use to create a baby is the same energy used to birth other kinds of babies, such as movements, brands, masterpieces, if you're a traditional medium artist. Orgasms are an insane surge of energy rushing through you. That's why you thrash around, you scream, you shake, you moan, you bite, you hit, grab, cry, whatever. Now, let me ask you this. What does that sound like? The crying, the screaming, the grabbing, the biting. What are you grabbing? What are you biting? What does that remind you of? Childbirth. Pleasure and pain are inverse of each other. The way you receive is the way that you release. Orgasms are the greatest litmus test for your tolerance for pleasure because the amount of pleasure that you can hold mirrors your capacity for aligned creation. Similar to orgasms, to create is to hold a surge of energy through you for an extended period of time. We might call that gestation or the wilderness season, depending on who you ask. To bring it all together, if you resist staying conscious through your orgasms, you will not be conscious through your creations. And in order to bring full materialization of your brand, the vision that God has given you onto this earth through your brand, you have to stay conscious through that creation. Creation requires full-bodied, surrendered, and no control, and that is God through you. It requires full openness as a channel or vessel, and full vulnerability, being able to see yourself in clarity and truth. And lastly, consent. It requires consent. So let me paint a picture of what it looks like to resist consciousness through your orgasms. It could look like rushing through it. It could look like keeping your heart out of it, like you're just scared of that vulnerability. It can look like disassociating from how good it feels. Like I know I used to do that a lot because I just didn't have a high capacity for pleasure at all or goodness. After a lifelong of trauma, it gets a little hard. It could also look like disassociating from how good it feels. It could look like after you guys are done or whatever you're done with. It could look like just being avoidant, rushing out the room, leaving immediately. I know a lot of men do that. Neglecting your pleasure for your partners, like over prioritizing them and not being able to be positioned to receive as much as they are giving. It can look like staying in your head instead of your body, faking it. And this one was something that I don't think a lot of people realize, but if you're obscenely thrashing around, yelling, screaming, when it's not, when you're doing those things like thrashing around, yelling, or screaming, if you're not grounded in yourself, that is a way to release energy that you don't have the capacity to hold. That's a way of actually offsetting pleasure because it's too much for you. So what this looks like when you're called to create or to materialize the vision or birth the vision that God has put in your womb, on your heart, what this looks like as mirroring how you typically look or I'm tripping over my words. When God calls you to materialize or to birth his vision on earth through your brand as a founder, and you're someone who resists consciousness through orgasms, this is what it's going to look like for you. You're going to rush through the process and skip steps. So that will look like choosing what's misaligned over what's aligned. You lack conviction for what's aligned or what's necessary for the vision. You try to only work in the physical like everyone else when your vision is requiring for you to birth this from heaven. So that can look like your obsession with discipline and productivity. It also looks like you blame yourself, harm yourself with your business, like you're overworking yourself, or you just created something that is just so unsustainable for yourself, but you've attached your worth to how much you can produce and you start treating yourself like a machine. And then the biggest tell is when your heart and your mind is out of coherence. So the way that you orgasm and how your inability to hold your orgasm and to stay conscious through it is the way you're going to materialize this vision. And it's going to be unstable, unsustainable, and it's going to lack structural integrity. This is what it looks like when you are staying conscious through your orgasms. It looks like taking your time, being grounded in your body, full consent, because a lot of us, some of us go through our sexuality by force for several reasons, but that's a topic for another day. It looks like allowing yourself to hold every ounce of pleasure without discharging it too early. Remember when I mentioned how some of us, we might like thrash around or rush through it because it's just too intense, we can't hold it? When you are fully conscious through your orgasms, you aren't doing those extra things to discharge it. You can stay present and grounded through it. It looks like allowing yourself to be transformed through the experience, because I believe that creation and orgasm are points of transformation. It looks like submitting and surrendering to the experience without fear or any resistance. It means your heart is open, your mind and your heart are in coherence, and it looks like you holding the build up to the orgasm and the orgasm itself without disassociating. Meaning you're fully conscious and you're fully present. You're not thinking of something else. You're not trying to like disassociate from it. You're just here and you're receiving it, the full pleasure of it all. And when you're building your company, when you're building or materializing this vision that God has given you, it's going to mirror that in the exact same way. You're going to be able to submit to the process of birth, death, and rebirth that is required for you to expand your identity and capacity to hold the vision that God has given you. It's going to look like you taking every single moment of this process and just being present. You're not disassociating. You're not drinking because it's just too hard. Like, you can handle it. And you're also finding pleasure and joy in it. Like, you're not like raw dogging it and hating every single moment and harming your body through it. There is honor in it. And so in order to go from being unconscious through creation or orgasms to being conscious through your orgasms and creation, it's something you can practice. And the best way to anchor in this skill, or to anchor in this new shift of paradigm and identity, is through self-pleasure or with a partner. Practice being still through your orgasms. Practice controlling your breath. Practice how vocal you are. Practice maintaining a singular spot of pleasure. Practice just being still and taking your focus off of your mind and your partner to yourself. Think of, like, place your awareness to your heart and to your womb or to your vagina, and just stay there and don't let it move, because the longer you can stay in that spot of pleasure translates to how long you can stay in what is required of you through creation. I also recommend just practicing slowing it down. Like, just go slow, let it build up. Practice, whether as to like teasing or whatever, like just be slow, be very slow. And then lastly, practice heart-mind coherence in your everyday life. Think thoughts and feel feelings that don't contradict each other. For example, let's say you are dealing with a friend and they made you feel that way. Instead of just immediately saying like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. No. Your feelings are saying it's not fine, and your thoughts are saying something else. Think thoughts and feel feelings, and then create from there. Let your words and your actions flow from that coherence. Or another example is like, you're tired, like you haven't slept for 24 hours because you've just been running around everywhere. Instead of feeling the exhaustion and how badly you need what you need, which is sleep, and instead of overriding that and thinking in your mind like, okay, I just need to get past it, honor that feeling, honor it, and then let your actions and your words flow from that. That's what heart-mind coherence is. If this resonated with you at all, DM me. If you are ready to bridge the gap between your misalignment and your fully actualized brand, and the topic that we spoke about today really resonated with you, DM me. We're going to talk about the best way to move forward between us two to co-create the strategies that will bring about alignment on earth through your brand and through you as a founder. Anyways, if you haven't signed up for the Letters from My Living Room newsletter series, then make sure you do that before you go. Also click the subscription button so you can be notified whenever I come back to grace you with more wisdom. And I thank you for coming back, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.